Hello there, this is David from David Books and Comics, and today we're going to take a look, perhaps another look, at Matt Baker. So, who was Matt Baker? Matt Baker was a famous African-American artist who wasn't as well known in his lifetime, but became subsequently really well known and one of the most collectible and collected Golden Age good girl artists. Now, Matt Baker was born in North Carolina back in 1922. His full name was Matthew Clarence Baker, but he always signed his name, when he did sign it, as Matt Baker. At a young age, Baker contracted rheumatic fever. He would suffer from a weak heart for the rest of his life as a result of that. Baker died at a relatively young age in 1959. Baker's art was influenced by the work of people like Will Eisner and Lou Fine. Very early on, he started working for a comic shop owned and operated by Jerry Iger. It used to be called the Eisner Iger Shop because it was at one time a partner-run operation with Will Eisner and Jerry Iger, and eventually Iger operated the shop on his own. Comic shops would be a bullpen of artists and writers that were farm out their work to comic companies like Fiction House, where you get to see Jumbo Comics and Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, and Fox Features, where you get to see Blue Beetle and Baker's version of Phantom Lady. Baker's most famous work, of course, is, one can argue, Phantom Lady, which he drew for a short period of time for the Fox Features comic studios between 1946 and 1949. However, his most accomplished, in my view, and finished work is the picture novel called, as you see here, It Rhymes from Lust, published first in 1950 by St. John Publications. This is a straightforward crime mystery novel. This one is copyright 2000, and it's a first printing, 2007. But the original, It Rhymes from Lust, first appeared in 1950, as I said, from St. John Publications. Now we will go through the Alter Ego magazine, which I have a copy of, with a lengthy article on Baker, and then flip through the Phantom Lady slipcase edition from Roy Thomas Presents. So we'll just flip through this first so you can see. I've shown this before, but it's a picture novel. It's dense in text. It's 128 pages and features some of the best finished artwork, in my view, of Matt Baker. It features this main character named Rusty, and she is, in essence, a femme fatale protagonist. Anyway, so that's that. Now I'll look through the Alter Ego, one of the best issues that features some, we'll just zoom out, features some of Baker's art over his long, or all too short perhaps, career in the comic book industry. So there you see some of his famous creations, Sky Girl, which also appeared in Fox Features, and Phantom Lady. And then you have Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, which appeared in Fiction House. And you could see this is Bob Webb, this is Alex Blum, and this is Matt Baker. That's the different styles of artwork. This is some early Sky Girl, which is, oh, sorry, Sky Girl was Jumbo Comics, would be Fiction House. Very risque comic book art. And here's Sky Girl. And you have Camila, Queen of the Jungle. This one is signed. The Tiger Girl is signed by Matt Baker right there. And you have K.O. Kirby. You have Mist of the Moon. Also, you can tell the art by the faces and the shapely legs. That's Baker. And this is the famous Classics Illustrated, or this is the first Classic Comics, the first edition of the Classic Comics. This is published by Gilberton, and of course it has, it became Classics Illustrated. And this is the only Matt Baker, this is the only Matt Baker art in the Classics Illustrated series. And you have Ace, you have Kid Kane. You could see by the faces. You have Wonder Boy, South Sea Girl, Tugboat Tessie, and of course, Phantom Lady, the lady with the secret identity but never wore a mask. As you can see there, created initially by Arthur Petty and drawn by various artists, including Joe Kubert, back in the early 1940s. But it was Matt Baker who really brought the character forward and really created a seminal look to the character. It's also what got him blacklisted by Frederick Wertham in his famous Seduction of the Innocent book, criticizing and blaming comic books for juvenile delinquency. And here we see the original STJ look of picture novels, which was basically photocopied by the Dark Horse Comics. And now we have his further work in romance comics, and you see his distinctive style, drawing the faces. The Flamingo Daily strip, which he had a hand in. And from Police Comics, he went on to work for STJ, St. John's. And here's Canteen Kate, another one of his famous series, which it's considered some of his best artwork. And this is what he did for Marvel. Marvel is one of the companies he worked in the last years of his life. A very different kind of style. But you can tell through the heavy inking, you can see Baker's style. This is The Vengeance of Wes Harder, where Baker would draw a few Western strips. And here we see some magazine illustrations by Baker. And this is a Charlton comic book called Negro Romances. And some speculate, as this article does, was this Charlton published Negro Romance cover, 4th of May 1955, drawn by Matt Baker? If so, he might well have portrayed himself as the man in the car, and it does look like a self-portrait. Anyway, so that's Negro Romance, famous issue. There's South Sea Girl and Vuda, I believe. Uh, yeah, one was from 1947, the other 1945. Basically redrawn by Baker. All right, so that's that. I do have this, but I have a much better edition of Matt Baker artwork for Phantom Lady. And that's this issue. This is from uh, Roy Thomas Presents Classic, and basically it shows the original look of the Phantom Lady. It's a complete. This is a Joe Kubert original artwork, by the way. All right, so that's that. That's all I want to show of that. This is volume 1, but Roy Thomas, what he does is he collects the entire run of the Phantom Lady stories, starting with Quality Comics. When Phantom Lady moved to Fox Features, she looked like this. And this famous cover was featured prominently in The Seduction of the Innocent by Frederick Wertham, showing a woman in bondage. All right, so here we go. And there's Baker at work. And Pictorial Romances, some of his artwork. And here you go. And those are the covers of the Phantom Lady run. This is the cover of the first one. The first Fox Features issue. And in my view, and it's really a photocopy of the entire series, but in my view, Phantom Lady here is drawn by Baker, is heavily influenced by another artist named Alex Blum. And what Baker did is basically used a kind of the house style of Alex Blum. Either that or Blum helped to ink the issue. But you can tell it has more of Baker than it has of Blum if you look carefully at the faces. It's definitely Baker's work. And here you have it signed, and again influenced heavily by Alex Blum. If you know Alex Blum, his artwork, he became the art director for Classics Illustrated. So if you look carefully at things like the Song of Hiawatha, the Classics Illustrated version of the Song of Hiawatha, you'll definitely see the Matt Baker influence, or for that matter, the Iliad, the Classics Illustrated issue of the Iliad. You'll see, the influences and the artwork of Alex Blum, and you can see the style is somewhat similar. And you can see this issue was heavily inked by the shading, as you can see here. All right, so that's that one. And this is issue number 14. And this is definitely Baker. More his own freeform, his own style. That's that one. And this is The Condemned Venus, famous story of Phantom Lady, featuring some of the best artwork. And here we have A Shroud for the Bride. It's a retelling of the Cinderella story with a crime element. All right, that's some of his best on Phantom Lady. This is issue number 15. This would be on the inside of the cover. This would be the front cover in glossy paper, and this would be the inside. And you can see it's literally a photocopy of the original. This one has a lot of pulp. It's a pulp-related sci-fi, science fiction, story. Written in almost novel page style. This is The World's Meanest Crook. And this is Red Rain. And you can see, I mean, it's very risque for its time. Graphic in its violence. The stories that some people speculate were written by a woman writer named Ruth Roach. The artwork was Baker. And here's another. Yeah, this one does not quite have the Baker style. This one does. This is the monster in the pool. Yeah, there's some question about who drew this one. And there's the famous Baker cover. It's issue number 16. Sorry, number 17. That's definitely Baker. You can tell by the faces. This is The Stinging Whip. And they're off. This is number 18. And that's Baker. That's the connoisseur, the fat connoisseur. All right, these are great little stories. This is from number 9, 1819. And you see Baker at his, Matt Baker at his finest. The case. The case of the murderous model. And here's another one. This is number 20. Yeah, distinctively Baker. Phantom Lady would appear not only in her own book. This is Ace of Spades, where she meets a masked villainess. But she'd also appear in the pages of other issues of other anthology books produced by Fox Features. And here we have the Jack in the Box murders. And yeah, to me, this does not look like Baker. Style is slightly different. Case of the Criminal Chessmen. Yeah, this is not Baker. This is quite a strange story, but different. Different from the others. It's one of the better stories in Phantom Lady pantheon of stories. This is number 22. Yeah, it looks like Matt Keenan's work, this one. And this is the Olympic Saboteurs. Yeah, Jack Kamen. With Baker's influences. one trying to copy best the other. The Indian Tiger Murders. This is from Phantom Lady number 23. Also a bondage cover. And this is a departure. This is very text heavy. This is after, I think, when Wortham started chasing down the comic book industry for its portrayal of gratuitous images of violence and, in his perception, sex that was influencing the younger generation, juvenile delinquency. Anyway, so that's that one. That's volume 2. And volume 3 has the collection of the other appearances of Phantom Lady in Fox, plus the reprint issues that appeared. And let's see, this is the Canadian edition. This is from a company called Israel Waldman, IW. And they produced this great Action Comics. I have that one upstairs. And Daring Adventures, and I have that one also. Yeah, so Phantom Lady appeared in this, All Top Comics, in several stories. And these are the Ajax issues. There are only 4. So this is Baker. This is from All Top number, doesn't say on the cover, I would say in the inside cover. This is from All Top number 8, 1947. And you can see, yeah, this is definitely Blum influenced, but Baker's artwork. And this is the Clown Killer. This is definitely Baker's artwork. Television Spies, that's Baker. All right. And that's the Swindling Eye. And the Swindling Eye, great little kind of noir. A lot of the stories, Phantom Lady was probably influenced and took its title of the character from the Cornell Woolrich novel by that title, Phantom Lady. And it has noir elements in it, crime noir and dark crime. Even the ray that she uses, the black ray that she uses to blind her enemies so that she can wrest justice on her foes, on the bad guys. All right, so that's that one. This is the Copycat Killers. Yeah, that's Baker's work. This is The Substitute Cinderella. This is not Matt Baker. Very distinctive art, but not Baker. This one is. This is The Man Who Lost His Stuff. It's heavy on text, but it's a great story. This is The Mystery of the Monkey Cult. This does not look like Baker. It's credited to him, but it's not Baker. Especially when you see scenes like that. You see when you look at the faces. All right. This is the Ajax books. And the Ajax books are published between 1954 and 1955. Just before Showcase number 10, anyway, the first appearance of Flash in Showcase, before the beginning of the Silver Age. There's an argument out there by some comic book collectors that really the Ajax line of superheroes were really the beginnings of the Silver Age. So not too many people make that claim, but generally speaking, most people say it's the first appearance of Flash in Showcase. All right, this is Kamen-ish type art, Jack Kamen-ish type art, but it's definitely not Baker. So that's that. So anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this look at one of the greatest artists of the Golden Age, and the guy who's credited with producing some of the best good girl art extant for collectors, and both the reprints and the originals. So I hope you enjoyed this look at one of the great artists. His name, African-American Matt Baker. And if you did, remember to do the like, the thumbs up. It's always good for this channel. And thanks everyone for subscribing. Continue to subscribe. I do appreciate it. And as always, feel free to make your comments. That is appreciated also. Okay, thanks. Bye.